In a greenhouse around the corner, finding energy solutions. Just around the corner is where it's all happening. In a greenhouse around the corner, finding energy solutions. Just around the corner is where it's all happening.
Hi, I'm Tricia Zima, your host, and this is a greenhouse around the corner. We've been travelling Australia finding sustainable centres who are leaders within their local area when it comes to energy efficiency. And today we have travelled to Byron Bay in New South Wales to the Byron Community College. At their Byron Bay campuses, we've met up with a small business management training group as they embed energy efficiency into their business plans. And here at the Mullumbimby campus, they have redesigned their old buildings to embed over 20 energy efficiency practices, including passive solar design. Here at this campus, they also teach energy efficiency to their local builders, and consequently, they become a community leader in this local area, as well as a net exporter of renewable energy.
Nice to have you here. Let's do it. Have a look around.
I'm looking forward to it. Join us as we explore the campuses of the Byron Community College.
My name is Richard Vinicum and I'm the Director of Byron Community College. Well, the organisation started in about 1993 and we're originally housed down at a railway station just down the road here, and we were there for quite a few years and gradually outgrew that place. In those days we were also two separate colleges, one in Mullumbimby and one in Byron Bay. So during the late 90s we amalgamated the two centres, and now we serve the whole of the Shire. So around about 2000 we've grown substantially, got about 12 staff here, about 100 courses 4 terms a year, and about 40 qualifications on our scope as an RTO. So given there's no TAFE in the Shire, we run quite a lot of accredited courses and balance those out with the lifestyle courses. The history of this building is that it was an old electricity depot which ceased functioning in the early 90s and stood derelict for a little while. One of the committee members of this organisation saw the opportunity for us to be able to move here. It was full of asbestos, it wasn't very practical, but slowly we just saved enough money to fix certain parts of the building, and we moved in initially a community technology centre, and then a training room in the old workers' training room. So we utilised some of the space, and we also got into partnership with a local employment body who set up some business incubators in the courtyard. Then we were lucky during the global economic crisis, and there was some money around for developing buildings in education. Some of it went to TAFE, but the community colleges in New South Wales and Victoria also got some money. And we got the maximum amount, about $1.5 million, and used that money to completely retrofit this building, to change it into something that was energy efficient, used a lot of recycling and was much more up to date. The sustainable measures that we've installed are pretty significant. 180 solar panels on the roof producing 30 kilowatts of power. which is a net export to the grid. We've also introduced recycling in all our spaces, and we've had to do some behavioural change in the building. We've done a lot about passive solar, so we brought in an environmental consultant when we had the architect initially looking at the design, because we just wanted to use less energy overall. So the ventilation systems, the clerestory windows, the level of insulation in the building, those are all important features as well. And I think one of the things that was really important for us was to model to the community the kind of things that could be done in a public building. My original vision for this building was that it was going to be a space that was beautiful to work in, that modelled sustainability principles with the community. And so we started dreaming a bit about what that might look like, and even started talking to an architect who appreciated sustainability principles and had designed some other places. And so that inspired us to think about where we'd go. We didn't have the money at that stage, so it was only later that when the funding came in that it was all able to be fulfilled. But there were certainly a few things that we could do that weren't expensive in the meantime, and part of that was the research into some of the materials that could be used, and the level of recycling, and the community support that might be available. What tradesmen had particular expertise, whether we had to do research internationally to see what best practice was. So all this was an important formative part of dreaming, and sometimes I felt like we were going in spirals and, you know, coming back to some particular vision. But all the time there was this sense that it was important to have an adult education centre that really, you know, walked the talk, that we actually had somewhere that manifested the sustainability principles that we believed in.
Passive solar design isn't really something you can retrofit to an existing building, but it's still really handy to know about it if you're building something new or evaluating a place to move into. So what is it? Basically, it's using a few design tricks to keep heat out in the summertime and to collect and distribute it in the winter. Here's a few things to look for. First, you want to make sure the building is exposed and open to the north. In an Aussie winter, the sun's arc moves north in the sky, so you want as much of that winter sunlight to get in as possible. A good deep set of eaves can make sure that the summer sun can't get in certain windows, but a more northerly winter sun can. Check to see what sort of shade your north and west facing windows have on them, and think about how that shade will change with the summer and winter arcs of the sun. Another key principle of passive solar design is insulation in the roof, the floors, the walls, even the windows. For example, a double glazed window does a much better job of resisting heat transfer, and that's good both in summer and winter. Hot air rises, we all know that, so high windows are really good for letting hot air escape from the rooms. Then there's your building materials. Choose them with a thermal rating in mind that's appropriate for your climate. Heavy materials with the right thermal mass can make a huge difference to your heating and cooling bills. Every new building in Australia now gets a star rating to show how thermally efficient it is. The minimum standard is 6 stars, but it's possible to go up to 10 stars and build something so well designed that you don't need to heat or cool it at all. Do your homework and check out the website for more details on good design practice.